All right. It is a Sunday morning. It's 8:30. We've got a Curse of Strahd game at 10. I had meant to start doing prep for the stream around 8 this morning, but I didn't charge my headphones last night after Vampires, so I had to charge my headphones, and then I've been fighting with Foundry to get the game started. Um, don't technically need access to the Foundry game to get started, so it's okay today. But I'm in between like updates and stuff, and this whole thing. But Daybreak loaded up fine, and so we'll be ready to run that at 10. We're probably going to put in about 45 minutes of prep for this, and then we'll stop and we'll work on some Curse of Strahd prep. A lot of prep this morning. All right, so Stolen Fate Adventure Path. All right, I've got a lot of feelings about this particular adventure. One is growing up, um, I got into D&D a couple of years before Planescape came out, so a very long time ago, second edition D&D. And when Planescape came out, it captured my imagination like real hard. Like I was like, this is the best. This is it for me. Um, they have since released, I got on the shelf back there, a fifth edition version of Planescape, and it just sort of like came and went. It felt like I don't I don't know, right? I don't know what happened along the way. Anyways, I love interdimensional adventure. I like traveling to different planes. I like seeing a lot of different sites. It's weird because I also like super dungeons. So you put me in one dungeon for the whole game, and I'm pretty happy. But at the same time, you give me opportunities to travel and explore lore and see stuff. I'm also pretty excited. Um, I also like the Deck of Many Things quite a bit ever since I was a kid, and of course the Harrow deck is sort of the Pathfinder Deck of Many Things at home situation. And I just heard a lot of good things about this adventure. It deals with fate and fortune. It deals with luck, and it has hags. Obviously, it's gonna have hags in it. I haven't even read the adventure. I know it's got hags in it. It's just there's interdimensional travel. Um, Timelines are at stake. It's very, very exciting. I'm very excited for it. I was so excited for this adventure that I wanted to play in this adventure. And Ashwin, who ran us through Abomination Vaults, was down to run us through this. But I just, at the time, I could not commit my Tuesdays to play in another game. I've applied for a game on Tuesday nights that starts in April. If I get in, that'll be great. If I don't, like I'm in so many games, I'm running so many games, so it is what it is. But I just feel like I missed my opportunity to play in this, but I still want to play in it, right? So I wanted to run this as the 11 to 20 portion of my Outlaws of Alkenstar game. And as sort of a reward, this is going to sound this is going to sound terrible. As a reward for my players putting up with me learning the system during Outlaws of Alkenstar, I wasn't going to post an ad for this game, right? I just was like, of my two Outlaws groups, if there are 5 of you that want to play this, you will automatically get into this group. Like, there's no applying. Like, you're in my current game. I think you guys are all great if you're in my Outlaws Alkenstar game. If you are in my Outlaws Alkenstar game and you're watching this video, you should probably stop watching it because we might have some spoilers. Probably not today, but we'll probably have some spoilers. So I was like, they deserve something special, right? So I want to run this very cool adventure for them, hopefully with their Outlaws Alkenstar characters that hopefully survive the campaign. So that they can kind of grow with me in the system from level 1 all the way to level 20. And that's the feels, right? That's the vibe. That's the background for why I'm doing this. All right, so I've already purchased the Foundry Adventure. It was $100. Now you get what you pay for. when you buy a Paizo Foundry adventure. Don't get me wrong. You get what you pay for. It's $100, but it ain't that bad. They did manage to sneak in a $15 DLC because they got a special deck of cards called the Hero deck that is involved with this adventure, and that was not included with the main adventure. So I picked that up this morning as well. All that's been set up in a Foundry world in my other monitor off to the side that's not loading. But we have the adventure loaded. One of the great things about these Paizo adventures is, for the most part, if you buy an adventure from Paizo for Foundry VTT, it's ready to go, right? So like you can show up, read the adventure obviously ahead of time, but you can show up and run the game. So the major prep for this series is, of course, going to be reading the goddamn book. All right, and all of these Paizo adventures, they start with a player's guide. And that's what we're going to do right now, is go ahead and read the player's guide. Now, one of the things I have noticed myself doing is I keep calling this Stolen Fates with an S, but it's Stolen Fate singular. That's going to take me a while. I was even labeling files and stuff incorrectly. I probably labeled the world wrong. I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, so let's see. This is by James Jacobs. James does pretty good work. That's good. It's good to hear. Stolen Fates Player's Guide. How to use this Player's Guide. Drawing from the Hero deck. Blah, blah, blah. Let's just jump into this. All right, let's go over here and do fit. There we go. All right. Welcome to the Stolen Fate Adventure Path. The Stolen Fate Player's Guide will help you prepare for this sprawling, epic campaign, where your characters must band together to track down the scattered components of a powerful deck of magic hero cards in order to protect Destiny itself from those who seek to control it. In this campaign, for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you'll start with 11th level characters who have already established themselves as heroes in an adventuring group, only to discover several strange and magical cards in your possession that tie to a vision that pulls you towards the Grand Bazaar in Absalon, the city at the center of the world. Well, that's pretty exciting right there. Absalon's a pretty big deal. As the campaign progresses, you'll travel across the world of Golarion and even beyond to other planes. See, there's the planescape tie that I was excited about, in pursuit of the scattered 54 cards of this magical hero deck. But as you chase down these powerful treasures, you'll come to discover that your group isn't alone in seeking these cards. Oh, anti-heroes? This is just the plot of Madness at Gardmore Abbey, but at higher level. And that's okay. To play in this campaign, all you need is the Pathfinder core rulebook and a character sheet. With your game master's permission, you can also use Pathfinder 2nd Edition supplemental books, campaign setting books, and other accessories to further customize your character. While not required to enjoy Stolen Fates Adventure Path, have at least one copy of the official Hero deck. It's only $15, Crash. Go buy it. It's only $15. At your table to reference will help not only with verisimilitude. I'm getting there, Pathfinder. You guys are increasing my vocabulary. I know what verisimilitude means. But to aid your group in keeping track of which cards from the mysterious Hero deck you've recovered and which ones are still out in the wild awaiting discovery. Some of the player options you'll find later in the player's guide are built around the Hero, and having a real deck of cards to draw from makes for a fun, interactive way to play the game. Of course, without a Hero deck, you can mimic drawing a card by rolling dice or even using a deck of regular playing cards. If you use playing cards, the easiest solution is simply write the name of each Hero card onto a corresponding playing card. You'll need to use both Jokers in this case to have a full set of 54 cards to draw from. On the following pages, you'll find specific suggestions to help create a new 11th level character or customize an existing character to work well with the Stolen Fate Adventure Path. The player guide is organized into the following sections: a harrowing vision. This describes a vision your PC's experience just before you begin the adventure and presents rules, blah, blah, blah. Character suggestions, guidance, practical advice, and specific tips for creating an 11th level character who fits seamlessly into this campaign. Harrow player options. Rules for a new archetype, a new ritual, and a new bloodline for Harrow-themed sorcerers are presented here. Note that these options are all uncommon, but for Stolen Fate, they should be made available for all PCs to choose from. Okay. Often during Stolen Fate, you'll need to draw a card from a Harrow deck. If you don't have a Harrow deck to draw from, you instead roll a d6 and a d10 to simulate drawing using the table below. Okay. Apparently, it's tied to the 9 alignments, which is no longer a thing, but that's fine. It's a harrowing vision. The event that kicks off Stolen Fate is a shared vision. Whether this vision manifests in the form of a vivid dream, sudden hallucination, potent resurfaced memory, or something else entirely is up to you, but regardless of the medium by which your PC experiences the visions, it's shared by each PC alike. The contents of the vision are presented below. Memories of your past, realities of your present, and fears and hopes for your future suddenly overwhelm you with a torrent of emotion. So many choices you've made, so many more to go. Do they even matter? Are your choices yours, or are they always what you'd choose? Do you have a fate that's set in stone, or do you get to decide your future? Suddenly, you're standing on a street corner, one you somehow know is in the Grand Bazaar within the great city of the great city of Absalon. Before you is a wooden building flanked by a flower shop and an open-air meat vendor. A sign above the building's door reads, 3 moves ahead, and deja vu washes over you. You've never been here, or have you? Will you? Should you? A blood-curdling scream shatters the building, and after a brief sense of pain and loss, the vision fades. As your senses return, you realize that clutched in your hand is something new. A single beautiful illustrated Harrow card. You don't remember finding it, but you instinctively know it has been yours. Though you only now hold it, your fate has been tied to it for a long time. Okay. When you recover from this vision, the card you clutch in your hand reveals some of its powers to you. Discovering the full nature of the card and its other powers, as well as the cause of your visions, are pursuits you and your fellow players will unravel as you begin to play in Stolen Fate. But the fact that all of you had the same vision, and all of you now own a different card from the same strange Harrow deck, presents a difficult to ignore conundrum. Does the shop 3 moves ahead in Absalon's Grand Bazaar have the answers you seek? Choosing your card, the first thing you'll need to do as you create or prepare your character for Stolen Fate is work with your GM and the other players to decide which of the 4 mysterious cards your players begin with. Each of these cards is a magic item with its own powers as detailed below, but there are other elements of this card that you'll need to discover through play. Work with the other players so you all come to a decision on which PC starts with which card, and you'll be able to mix and match the cards as you wish once the game begins, but at the start, each of you owns one piece of the puzzle of Stolen Fate. If your group has fewer than 4 players, the card or cards not chosen will be found somewhere in your adventures ahead. Likewise, if your group has more than 4 players, the GM will provide additional details on the extra cards the group can choose from. All the information is provided in the first adventure of Stolen Fate. Keep in mind that while a card's associated ability score and alignment can influence the type of powers it has no impact on the character who selects that card. For example, a lawful good paladin whose highest score is strength would receive no additional bonus for selecting the paladin, nor would a chaotic neutral elf who loathes metalwork has a low constitution be penalized for selecting the brass dwarf. Oh. Investing your card. Each card grants a passive boon and an activated ability. There's no need to identify magic. Once you hold one of these cards in your hand, the function of the card is imparted automatically to you as soon as the card is touched. Once invested, a card need only be carried on your person to function or grant you its activated ability. Whether you hold the card in hand, carry it in a pouch, or tuck it into a boot, belt, or hatband. While the PC starts with only one card, you'll find more as you play Stolen Fate, and there's 54 of them. You can have up to 5 cards invested at any one time, but regardless of how many cards you invest, the cards collectively count only as a single item. Hot damn. In effect, 1 to 5 cards comprises a single invested hand that grants numerous benefits. In this way, as your party discovers more and more cards, the PCs can customize their hand as needed, swapping cards out each time they invest an item. The specific details of the 4 cards you begin this campaign with are presented below. Oh man. I know some people that are going to be very excited about this. Very excited about this. Oh, look at that. The Foundry world finally booted up. Cool. Okay, so we've got the choosing. We've got Destiny War. And we got the worst of all possible worlds. So I guess America 2020. Good times. Anyways. Um, let's see. I did install. I am just really curious how this deck works. Hold on. Pathfinder, Harrow. Save. Reload. I'm sure it will be fine. Alright, the Brass Dwarf is a level 20 magic item. Wow, we're just handing out level 20 magic items at the start of the campaign. Okay, okay. It is unique, abjuration, artifact, invested, magical. The Brass Dwarf represents, well, I guess you see, it's the shield constitution and it's lawful neutral, whatever that means. The Brass Dwarf represents invulnerability. When you invest the Brass Dwarf, you gain resistance to fire equal to your level. Oh, baby. Oh my god. For Pathfinder, that's pretty fucking good. Activate Envision, 1 Pac-Man. Frequency, once per hour. Choose acid, cold, electricity, fire, mental, poison, or sonic. You can't choose the damage type for which the Brass Dwarf currently gives you resistance. You gain resistance to the type of damage you chose, equal to your level, and you lose the prior resistance that it gave you. For 1 minute, you gain weakness equal to half your level to the damage type of the prior resistance. Okay, that's good. That's really good. I'm not trying to be like, that's not good, but, I mean, a level 20 artifact, I thought maybe it did a little bit more, but it probably does when combined with like 4 other cards to create a full hand or something. No problem, no problem. Let's see. All right. Oh, what we got here? Change log. All right. Hey, we got a card setting here. How do we activate hand pile preset? All right. Configure settings. Harrow deck. EFH. Hmm. All right. Let's see. The Harrow deck pre-configured and entered your world. High-resolution images are all 54 cards. A brand new user interface built specifically for performing the harrowing that guides you through every step of the process. Instructions on how to perform a harrowing for your group, with advice specifically for performing or reading at your tabletop. Journal entries which cover the story of the harrow, with detailed descriptions of each card's meaning and role. Card back and frame are included, allowing you to create your own cards to use with the Harrow rules. Compatibility with any game system on Foundry VTT. Next time your players encounter a fortune teller at a carnival or soothsayer at a local tavern, don't just tell them their future, show it to them with the Pathfinder Harrow deck. All right. This module was developed in-house, blah, blah, blah. Where are the fucking instructions? Maybe this video will explain what's going on? Okay. Alright. It's this guy. Okay. I will add this to my prep list. I don't feel like doing this today. Alright. Let's see. Learn how to Harrow deck. Cool. Alright. Add that first to-do item. Fantastic. Alright. The Empty Throne. This is a level 20 artifact, unique, divination, invested, magical. It is crowns, charisma, lawful good. The Empty Throne represents great loss and wisdom from those who are now gone. As long as you have the Empty Throne invested, it grants you a +2 item bonus to society and lore checks made to recall knowledge regarding individuals who are no longer alive, such as checks to learn about Taldor's historical founder, but not to learn about its current empress. This increases to +3 if you are at least 17th level. Okay, that was always weird. That was weird. All right. 1 Pac-Man Envision. Once per day, you overwhelm a target you can see within 60 feet with feelings of helplessness and loss. The creature must attempt a will save equal to your class DC. Oh, that's cool. On a critical success, they are unaffected. On success, they can't benefit from circumstance or status bonuses for 1 round. And failure, the target can't benefit from circumstance or status bonuses for 1 day. Oh my god. And the target's allies are unable to benefit from circumstance or status bonuses while within 15 feet of the target. And critical failure, as failure, except the duration is 1 week. I'm always a bit confused about curses for players. Because, like, how many bad guys are you going to encounter a week later? You know what I'm saying? It's a little weird. This motherfucker up here, the dwarf, he just gets incredible, shiftable resilience, or resistance, or whatever. And this person, once per day, can make someone sad. There's already a big disparity, you know what I'm saying, between the two. Like, who wouldn't want the fucking dwarf? Dwarf's, like, really good. Alright, the Paladin, level 20, unique, abjuration, artifact, invested, magical. Hammers for strength, alignment, lawful good. The Paladin represents righteousness and resolute defense. As long as you have the Paladin invested, you gain shield block general feat. Okay. If you already possess this feat, you gain an additional reaction at the start of your turn that can only be used as shield block. That's pretty dope. Activate. Reaction, envision, trigger. You fail or critically fail a saving throw once per day. Adjust the result of your saving throw up by 1 degree of success. Oh my god! That's really good! Empty throne over here like, watch out, I'm gonna make you sad for a whole week. You don't know, it might be a whole week. It might be sad. The Rabbit Prince is level 20. Unique artifact, divination invested. It is keys, dexterity, alignment, chaotic neutral. The Rabbit Prince represents the unreliability of hand-to-hand combat and how even cunning foes can lose to lucky novices. As long as you have the Rabbit Prince invested, it grants you a +1 status bonus to attack rolls you make as a readied action. Okay. Activate, Fortune, Envision. You miss a creature with a melee weapon strike. Sure. Once per day, re-roll the triggering strike with a +1 status bonus. If you hit, attempt a DC 15 flat check. On a failure, your weapon gains the broken condition. What? This dude up here is giving you resistance. You can change every hour equal to your level. This guy breaks your sword on a reaction-based ability when his primary ability is reaction-based. I hope that this is not indicative of the design of the entire adventure, because this is fucking terrible. Like, this is pretty bad. Wow. Okay. So, holy shit, that's terrible. Okay. Well, let's add to the to-do list. Create a roster of 6 possible cards to start with. Update the 6 cards to be equitable. Use the Bronze Dwarf as the model to average the others against. Alright. Wow. Well, that's a little disappointing. Fortunately, one of the smartest people I know, Josh Butler, is already running this game. And I asked him some questions about these starting cards, and he had some thoughts. He had some feelings about those cards. One of them was that the rabbit fucking sucks. Um, so now that I've read it for myself, I agree. It's pretty bad. His suggestion is to remove the flat check. I don't think that's enough. I think that is dumb. I think that I just think the rabbit is just bad all the way around. And then I asked him, what 2 cards would you add if you wanted to add more? And according to the adventure and Josh, there are some more you can add. I think the ones that he suggested were. Let me see. That's it. He said 2 cards, 4 players. Oh, okay. I actually don't see the 2 that he recommended in our chat, so I guess I'm just supposed to look in the book. Oh, Mountain Prince and Locksmith. All right, let's go into items. Hmm. Mountain Prince isn't there. Did I not? Did this not install properly? Let's see. Configure settings. No wait. Manage mods. Harrow. Harrow says it did install. Okay, hold on. Maybe it's a compendium. All right, let's see. Stolen Fate. There's nothing in there. Harrow deck. There we go. Pathfinder Harrow deck. A importer. Okay. We did it. Alright. Nice. You think they're just cards? I don't know. Harrow is a tarot-like deck, blah blah blah. The most important thing, treat your Harrow deck with respect. Sure. So these are the instructions, I guess. Nice. Alright, now I should be able to look at the cards, right? Son of a bitch! where are my cards? I want to look at my cards. I gave you $15. All right. I imported. Oh, there's a card stack now. Allegedly. Hey, there we go. All right. So let's see. What were the 2? Lockpick and Mountain Prince. Okay. This doesn't look like 54 fucking cards. I'm gonna be honest. Um, Most assuredly does not. Mountain Man? Maybe that's what Josh was talking about. You can edit the card. Oh, that's cool. This is a constitution-based one. Card faces, card backs. Alright. How come they don't have, like, items for these, though? That's weird. Alright. I don't know what Mountain Man does, or Locksmith, so we will have to revisit that. Alright. Let's keep going. Character suggestions. Once you've worked with the other players and your GM to determine which card your PC starts with, it's time to begin the process of creating your character. Since Stolen Fate begins with the party being level 11, character creation will be more involved, but the notes and advice on the following pages will help you create a PC who is thematically appropriate for the adventure path. You can, of course, use existing level characters. In fact, this option works quite well if you and the other players are already part of an established group. With Stolen Fate representing your group's latest adventure, the start of Stolen Fate assumes your group has gathered and already know each other and have already arrived at Absalom's Grand Bazaar. The mysterious 3 moves ahead shop from your vision is only a few blocks away. Though you're free to make any kind of character you like from Stolen Fates, for Stolen Fate, Adventure Path, taking the following suggestions into consideration will help you get the most out of this campaign. Alright, so, character creation. Alright, so, ideally, use existing characters. Full respec will be available. Alright. In Stolen Fates, you and your friends set off on an epic treasure hunt across the world of Galarian and beyond. Your initial motivation, be it curiosity, wanderlust, search for power, or anything else, will, as the campaign progresses, be augmented by the fact that your group finds themselves as defenders of fate itself. And you'll face those who wish to manipulate fate and secure grand futures for themselves that could eradicate the very concept of free will and choice. The plot assumes that your group will want to preserve agency and free will rather than risk being railroaded into a future you have no control. But in the end, no one alignment is required. The most important thing, okay. So chaotic good is the ideal alignment. Ideal alignment equals chaotic good. All right, understood. Ancestry. Stolen Fate, excuse me, sends your PCs across the world and even visits other planes, but you won't be spending a particularly long time in any one location. As a result, any ancestry is potentially appropriate for play in this adventure path. As the campaign begins in Absalon, ancestries commonly found there make logical sense, but during the course of Stolen Fate, you'll visit many other lands. Work with your GM to determine if any uncommon or rare ancestries. That's fine, whatever. Classes. The primary themes of Stolen Fate are clashes against those who would steal free will from the world, travel to a wide range of locales, the excitement of chasing down powerful magical items and hunting artifacts, and the Hero deck itself. Class builds that focus on supporting the party or being self-sufficient will feel the most at home here. But characters who thrive by remaining in a single location to network and build regional or local power will likely be frustrated by the adventure's multiple locations, and the fact that for many of them you just won't remain there for long. Stolen Fate is not an adventure path for those who want to settle down. That said, fairly early on, your group will gain access to a unique home base from which you can stage your adventures, pursue downtime activities, and rest and relax between encounters. It's just not going to be a location with a lot of opportunities to climb social ladders or engage in intrigue with multiple factions. Okay, so builds that focus on support and self-sufficiency. Hobos are best. Okay, got it. Alchemists. Alchemists will eventually have access to workshops to pursue their crafts, but the first few sessions be prepared to have all the resources you need to play in your hands. Owning a set of alchemist tools will be more than enough to get started. There are no alchemist research fields that are particularly thematic or appropriate. Barbarians are an excellent choice for Stolen Fate, both because of their strong ties to personal freedom and emotions, because barbarians are very self-sufficient. With that in mind, you won't have much opportunity to spend time with barbarian clans or followings in the adventure path. Given Stolen Fate's themes of fate and destiny, the spirit instinct is perhaps slightly more thematically appropriate than others. Bards will have many opportunities to influence NPCs and even groups of creatures during Stolen Fates, sometimes in an unexpected way, but no one bard build is thematically or mechanically advantageous in the adventure path. Cool. Champions are all appropriate for Stolen Fate, provided their tenants don't set them up to clash against the rest of the party, though thematically Liberators are the most appropriate choice. Let's see. Clerics have extensive freedom to choose their deity in this campaign as long as their chosen religion doesn't put them at odds with the rest of the party. Druids will find that the more diverse they are in handling different natural regions, the better off they'll be. Stolen Fate spends time in deserts, jungles, frozen reaches, swamps, plains, and more, but never stays in one environment for long. All druidic orders are equally appropriate, as are animal companion choices with the exception of aquatic animals. That's good to know. I'm tired of underwater stuff. Fighters of all kinds can excel in Stolen Fates, though it's... Oh, geez, fighters are good in Pathfinder 2? Are you serious? Gunslingers will need to ensure they have access to uncommon supplies they'll need to perform as the campaign begins, but as play proceeds, the options available to resupply will only grow, despite visiting some regions where guns are unknown, or others where they might be more common than you expect. Inventors, like gunslingers, will need to ensure that they have access to uncommon supplies they'll need to do their job. No one inventor innovation is any more or less appropriate. Investigators is a fine choice for Stolen Fate, but keep in mind the campaign doesn't have much in the way of mysteries to solve. Oh, okay. For the bulk of the campaign, you'll just be chasing down treasure. That kind of feels like, an investigation. No? Um, you'll generally know where you need to go, but it's still cool that you're an investigator. Oh, okay. Kineticists are a fine choice, but thematically, elemental forces don't play a big role in this adventure. It's cool if you want to be one, you just won't be you won't be cool. Okay. A magus can excel in Stolen Fate, while the type of magic they pursue isn't particularly tied thematically to this adventure path. That just leaves them to make choices as they wish. Monks, like fighters and magi, are free to choose class options as they wish. See face on page 8 for additional guidance on religion or belief. Oracles are an excellent thematic choice for Stolen Fate, even though it's not a great it's not a great class. None of the mysteries presented in the Advanced Player's Guide are particularly inappropriate for Stolen Fates, but of those listed here, the lore mystery is perhaps the most appropriate for this adventure. Psychics will find much to align with during Stolen Fates, particularly if they lean into the elements of divination, magic, or emotions. Um, let's see. Rangers will have ample opportunities for their abilities to shine in Stolen Fates, particularly when they come to being self-sufficient in unusual regions. If you gain an animal companion, remember that aquatic animals aren't great. ... For this campaign. Rogues should keep in mind there isn't going to be a lot of time to build rep in specific areas, but there'll be plenty of traps and hazards to face along with it. Consider the advice for skills starting on page 8 to make sure your rogue is focusing on the right stuff. Sorcerers are an excellent thematic choice. In fact, there's a special bloodline just for this campaign. Summoners should consider the relative lack of aquatic environments when building their Eidolon. But apart from that, they'll have a great time. Swashbucklers, like fighters, are they though? Are they? They'll have plenty of chances to shine in this adventure path, but the ability to use performance and other attention-grabbing tactics might gain additional advantages in certain encounters where combat isn't the best option. Okay. Hero card implements. Unique among the character classes, the Thaumaturge has a special link to the Hero in that 6 of the 9 implements detailed in Pathfinder Dark Archive has specific links to one. Oh, thank you, Michael Scott. Has specific links to one of the 6 Hero suits: amulets with shields, lanterns with stars, mirrors with keys, regalia with crowns, tomes with books, and weapons with hammers. With the GM's permission, a Thaumaturge could use a Hero card of the appropriate suit as their implement. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Alright, Thaumaturge will fit very well in the theme of Stolen Fate, as they're focused on powerful magical artifacts. The Harrow itself is the most obvious place for a Thaumaturge to draw inspiration from, so pay close attention to which suit of the Harrow your chosen implement is associated with. Witches, whose magic focuses on fate or divination themes that work best in Stolen Fate. Fate is without a doubt the strongest thematic choice for a patron in this campaign. And Wizrobes, who focus on divination magic, will find their areas of study most closely match the themes of Stolen Fate. Cool. This is going to be kind of weird, because of the 5 players who contacted me to play in this adventure, only one of them is a spellcaster. Because, they're coming from Alkenstar, so they don't have a lot of spellcasters. So, it'll be interesting to see if they take me up on the offer to respec. And then if they do respec, would they change into full casters, or would they try to slide some caster archetypes in there to try to, now that we're out of Alkenstar, we should start using some magic kind of thing. I am curious how that goes. Face. As with alignment, Face focus on chaos are slightly more thematic than others, but those who focus particularly on the concept of fate, travel, and treasure hunting are a great fit for Stolen Fate. Deities like Caden, Kaelin, of course, Desna, Gorum, Nethys, Norgerber, and Pharasma are strong choices in these regards, but there aren't any particular faces that are automatically bad choices for your character to adhere to in this campaign. Likewise, there aren't any whose membership will grant... hold on. I should make sure I don't get kicked out of my Daybreak game. Let's see. Alright, cool. Alright. Let's see. Likewise, there aren't any whose membership will grant you unique role-playing advantages or opportunities as you play through Stolen Fates, even though the Prophecy of Destiny play key roles in this adventure. The Church of Pharasma doesn't feature heavily in the plot, because we put Pharasma in too many things. One obscure faith you'll want to speak to your DM about before taking your PCs is the Followers of Fate, which is introduced on page 184 of Pathfinder Bestiary 2. That's obscure. This faith, which worships the most powerful agents of fate and destiny called Norns, could pose complications if you select it. Okay. So, of course, a player is going to immediately look this up and be like, GM, I need this. Languages. Since significant portions of the campaign send you traveling to distant lands, you often find yourself adventuring, if even for a relatively short time, in regions with wildly different languages. Stolen Fate, more than most adventure paths, benefits from the party possessing a wide net of languages as possible rather than focusing on shared tongues.
This way, different characters have opportunities to serve as translators. Spells like tongues will be particularly valuable, and language-dependent effects won't be quite as useful as they are in a campaign focused on a more local stage. Okay. Um, Variety of languages, good. Um, Tongue spell, good. If we even still call it the tongue spell, I don't know. Let's see. General use languages that will be handy include Abyssal, Aklo, Demonic, Infernal, Jotun, and Sylvan. More specific languages that will not be useful for the entire campaign but could be incredibly valuable in a small number of encounters include Aslanti, Cyclops, Druidic, Mwangi, Razatlani, Shoanti, Shori, Tengu, Thessalonian, Tian, Varisian, and Vudrani. I think I did it. I feel like I was reading the role as a substitute teacher. Uh, Skills and feats. You'll be facing a wide range of challenges as you travel the world in search of magical cards, and that means there will be plenty of opportunities for skills to shine. Physical skills like acrobatics and athletics are always great. Um, Thievery is great. There aren't a lot of plot lines relying on stealth. Okay. But it's still a good skill. Deception, diplomacy, intimidation, and performance will be used in encounters where combat isn't the best option. Society and survival will be handy in dealing with the unusual, unexpected regions you visit. And medicine is always good. All right, cool. Um, well, medicine's always good. Downtime can potentially play a significant part of Stolen Fate, especially in the context of using various skills to build up your customized home base. A plot element that you'll encounter relatively soon in the encounter. The adventure. A lot of different skills will be helpful here in ways that are unexpected, which only enhances existing options, with crafting being particularly useful if you wish to create your own treasures. There won't be as many opportunities to earn income early on, but even this downtime activity gets support to a certain extent later in the campaign. As one would expect with a campaign so heavily focused on supernatural themes, the 4 skills associated with magic are particularly useful. Occultism is the top, and then Arcana and Religion, and Nature in last place. The strongest choice for lore is the fortune telling lore skill. Alright, let's see. GM pick up specific lore, still know to adjust things now and then, but at the same time, don't be afraid to approach problems and mysteries in the context of one of your lore skills. Doing so can help justify to the GM opportunities for you to use unexpected lore skills to recall knowledge. If you want to pick up a lore focused on a specific type of creature, work with the DM to determine your choice. Daemon lore, demon lore, and devil lore will all have significant moments to shine during this adventure. Lore is based on terrain will also be helpful a little bit. Underworld lore. Is that what the Underdark is called? Abyss lore, First World lore are the most useful planar focused lores. Other miscellaneous lore skills that might have specific moments in play include, but are not limited to, Absalon lore, academia, art, astronomy, dwarf, farming, labor, mercantile lore, sailing, scribing, and warfare. You should avoid feats that work best when you're limited to a smaller region and focus their effects on a single location. You can also work with the GM to ensure your feat choices won't become obsolete. After you move from a region, feats that aid in communication, like multilingual or legendary linguist, will be particularly helpful in keeping up with a wide range of languages spoken in Stolen Fates. And any feat that helps you be more self-sufficient is never a bad choice in Stolen Fate, since you'll often find yourself a long way from home. Most of the adventure and encounters in Stolen Fate takes place in wilderness areas or dungeons. Once you move on from Absalon in the first adventure, you won't be spending a particularly long time in urban environments, so feats that work best in cities should be low priority. In the end, Stolen Fates is a very wide net when it comes to encounter themes, so there's a chance there's even more obscure skills and feats could be useful along the way. Archetypes. One element to keep in mind is that since you're creating an 11th level character, archetypes can become a very significant part of your character's build for the first session. All multi-class archetypes work well for Stolen Fate, and the hero archetype presented on page 13 of this book is particularly useful, both mechanically and thematically. Other thematically appropriate archetypes from the Advanced Player's Guide include the Archaeologist, Blessed One, particularly if you've been blessed by good fortune, Horizon Walker, Linguist, Lore Master, and Scout. Gear. If you're beginning Stolen Fates with established characters, you likely already have your own gear. Although this also represents a great opportunity to adjust PC wealth so that no one PC has a disproportionate amount of gear than another. If you're creating a brand new 11th level character, though, you'll need to purchase some gear using one of these two methods: lump sum of $4,500, level 10 items or less, or pick your items 1/10, 2/9, 1/8, 2/7, and $500 of petty cash. Background: you can select any background you choose for your character, as destined adventures come from all walks of life. There are 6 new backgrounds for this adventure. And here's the chart of the best, most highly recommended, and the least recommended. A superstitious barbarian from an aquatic environment should just not play in this campaign. Agreed. Each of these backgrounds is rare and only available in this adventure path. Alright, cool. Bookish Providence. You have always been interested in knowledge and learned to read at a very young age. Well, you know what? We've got established characters coming in, so I'm just gonna skip these. Even though these are all incredibly cool and give you special abilities. Oh man, how spicy! It almost feels like kind of bad to like bring a character in when you have these cool things you could take. I don't know. Maybe we could just add these as boons during the adventure. That'd be kind of cool. All right, Harrow player options. The harrowing ritual. Keep in mind that any class can do rituals in Pathfinder 2e. This is uncommon divination ritual. Costs 1 hour and 20 gold per target level. Fortune telling lore or occultism expert. Touch one willing creature once per month or until fulfilled. Typical harrow reading does not magically manipulate fate, but when you perform a harrowing ritual to infuse the reading with occult power, you can impart real magical benefits to a target of the reading and give them agency and control over a task or goal in the immediate future. For the first 50 minutes, this ritual is spent preparing a target creature for the reading by meditating, concentrating on the task or goal to focus on, and allowing you to paint or ink symbols from the harrow onto their body to link them to the upcoming reading. The final 10 minutes of the ritual comprise the reading itself, during which these symbols placed on the target fade away while infusing their fate. The target of a harrowing must describe a set of events or course of action they intend to attempt in the near future. Something like hunting down a specific criminal, traveling to Varissia to investigate the Storval Stairs. You can roleplay out the actual harrow reading if you wish, using any spread to perform the reading. But at the ritual's completion, a single potential opportunity for the target to manipulate fate bonds to their destiny, depending on the result of the primary skill check you perform this ritual with. As long as the ritual's duration persists, the creature is temporarily immune to further harrowing rituals. Crit success. The target gains agency over fate and chance while in the pursuit of their goal, gaining a wild card. Randomly determine a harrow suit either by rolling a d6 or by drawing a card from a full harrow deck, then consult the associated suit checks table below. At any point during a harrowing's duration, the creature can expend this wild card to immediately re-roll an associated check they just made, getting a +4 status bonus to the reroll. They must use the second result. Once this reroll is taken and the wildcard is spent, the harrowing's ritual effects end. Success. A critical success, but the wildcard does not grant a status bonus to the reroll. Failure. The success, but the wildcard instead grants a -4 penalty to the reroll. And critical failure. The target's destiny is beyond their capability to manipulate. The wildcard has no effect, and further harrowing rituals cast on the target for 1 month automatically fail. That's not the worst thing that could happen. You lose a lot of money, though. Heightened, +1. The target gains an additional wildcard, attempting a primary check for each additional wildcard drawn to determine the card's benefits. The harrowing duration ends as soon as the target spends all of their wildcards. Okay, so as a heightened ritual, that's pretty fucking good. That's pretty damn good. Getting a single reroll for all that time and money, maybe not, but that's pretty cool. All right, we're going to have to stop here. We almost finished reading it, but we're going to say, let's see, we left off, Player's Guide, page 13, Harrower Archetype. All right, it's all good. So, next time we sit down to prep, we'll continue the Player's Guide. It's only 16 pages long, I think, so we're almost to the end, just reading about the Harrower archetype. Then we can dive in to the actual adventure, try to figure out how to use the Harrow deck in the game, all that good stuff. So we will see what happens. All right, I'm gonna spin my chair around in a circle, and this stream, start a new stream. We're going to do a little bit of prep for Curse of Strahd Daybreak, and then we're going to run Curse of Strahd Daybreak from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. So maybe I'll see you in about 5 minutes, or maybe I'll just see you next time.